Hello, everybody, and welcome into our first playoff preview show here at the Hockey Writers for the 2026 playoffs. And this, as we're recording, this is the only matchup that's confirmed. The rest of them are still up in the air. It is really, really interesting. I don't know if this is, there has been in the past. We don't know series until the end. But this one has pretty much been guaranteed for a while. It's who is going to have home ice. And even that's confirmed now. It's the one that's been. Colorado's run away. They've got the President's Trophy. That the Wild and the Stars were going to face each other. It's just a matter of who was going to have home ice, and we do have it now. And of course, I got Marc Sautter and Mariah Stark as always. Covering the Stars and the Wild. I had both you on playoff preview shows in the past. So welcome to our first one. Mark, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me. Been looking forward to this all year long. Can't wait. Mariah, been great work for the Hockey Writers with the PW. Professional Women's Hockey League. My mind kind of faded. And of course, with the Minnesota Wild. So it's great to work alongside you. And yeah, I can't. This is going to be a phenomenal series.
Yeah. Mariah, how's it going?
Well, currently when I look up, I have my TV on with the Wild playing the Blues, and I am ready to turn it off because they're not playing very well. But I have to remind myself they sat 10 of their main players, and the only main guy in the net is Gustafson. So it's a meaningless game, and I hate saying, I'm not going to get into this too much. I hate saying meaningless game because every game should matter, but literally this doesn't mean anything, and I have to keep telling myself that. But
it literally doesn't at all, because
it
doesn't matter about how many more wins the Stars get or the Wild get. They're not moving where they are. Dallas has home ice, and the Wild don't, and that's it doesn't matter. Both teams win the rest of their games. That's how it's going to end. Just how many points they'll have at the end of the season is what it's going to be. But this should be a fun series. It's been a pretty much the Central Division in general has been a gauntlet. Even the teams that are not in the division, Utah Mammoth are in the playoffs, and the wild card spot, and they have a decent amount of points as well. Obviously nowhere near to get into the division because these three teams are ridiculous. The Winnipeg Jets, of course, won the President's Trophy last year. Unfortunately, aren't in this position at all anymore. Minnesota Wild basically took that spot from them. They're always were down in the wild card spots and stuff like that. So it should be a fun series. So let's get into, as we always do here, kind of do a little bit of the season, what's happened. And that's the journey to the playoffs. Both teams have a lot of wins. Both teams have a lot of great players. We'll talk about a few of them, of course. Both have great defensemen leading their blue lines. You've got great forwards, 40-plus goal forwards. You got Wyatt Johnson. It was Jason Robertson that scored his 45th goal today. And of course, and the Wild have some 40-goal scorers. Kirill Kaprizov's got 45 goals. Matt Boldy's got 40 goals. So I'll start with you, Mark. Obviously I don't want to go through the whole season, but what's the journey been like for the Stars this season? It's been pretty much more the same as they have been.
Well, as we are recording this, Wyatt Johnston literally just scored his 45th goal. So you're right on both fronts. To go back to the offseason, the Dallas Stars, 3 straight Western Conference final. We all know by now about the Pete DeBoer departure and the debacle that took place in the conference final last year in Game 5 against the Oilers. And he has this reputation of getting teams as far as he can take them before it just drops off, right? And so Glenn Gulletson getting hired in the summer, and the big disappointment for the Stars last year, specifically in the conference final, was the lack of pushback, the lack of physicality. I believe it was either Bouchard or Nurse who karate chopped Rope Hintz at the beginning of that conference final, and literally guys doing nothing, just watching it happen. And that really spoke to the fan base. And Gulletson, the whole summer, was talking about 1% more physical per game, 1% more, 1% more. And now we have watched that all season long. Go back to the Minnesota game just last week. That kind of physicality was not a part of the Dallas Stars game plan last year. It's a whole different team as far as that part goes. So when it goes to the whole season, it didn't really matter. Like, they were going to make the playoffs. They had to get to the conference final once again. This was the year to finally get to the promised land. And that's the big difference, is you've seen this team more committed to each other, being physical. There haven't been too many drop-offs. We saw the 15-game point streak, I believe. But this has just been all about coming to this moment. So that's the big thing personally, is that their power play is good. The penalty killing's okay. All those things don't really matter. It's about the physicality. What is different about this team than last year? And that's the big one for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing. Of course, the new coach. I mean, not really new. I mean, he's been a coach in Dallas before, but he's been around the block a bit since. And yeah, I mean, the Stars have been a great regular season team. It's the playoffs is where you want. It's in Stanley Cup is where they want to go. Mariah, I mean, the Wild, they've been good all season. They even were really good before they acquired Quinn Hughes, and just got even better once he got onto the team, and they're one of their best defensemen. Brock Faber has he's been a great defenseman too, but playing with him, they've both been just two pillars back there. What has been the journey to the playoffs for the Wild? I mean, they really haven't had any real drop-offs during the season. They've been pretty good.
So many may not remember, but the month of October was quite dismal, and many were ready to throw their hats in and be like, okay, next year. Because in the off season, they were expecting to go big, and I love Vladimir Tarasenko. I do, but he was not what everyone was expecting. And I mean, right now, I was on the bandwagon with him. I figured he would be valuable in some way. And now I believe the other night, he just tallied 23 goals. So, I mean, pleasant surprise there. So fast forward, they start turning it around in the month of November, December. I think they were like the best team in the month of November, if I recall. There's been a lot of things that have happened this season that it's just okay. So they started to get better. And then December 12th, I remember the exact date. Mr. Quinn Hughes arrives, and I dang near dropped my phone when I read it. And I literally was about, I think, to text you, Matt, because I was like, is this legit? And I was scrolling my phone, scanning it constantly, and I was at work. And I said to my boss, I'm like, you're never going to believe this. This looks like a prank. Because as much as I love the Wild, it just didn't seem like this was possible. Well, they bring in Hughes, and they get rid of I shouldn't say get rid of. They trade Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and my personal favorite, Matt, you know this, Zeev Buium. I'm still not over him leaving. I'm okay with it, but I'm still not over it. I was very excited for him, but maybe we'll circle back and get him back. But anyway, Quinn Hughes comes in, just absolutely just the fan base. It was amazing that first game he was there. It was like they were playing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It was so loud. I have never heard it be that loud in that building since I was probably like 10. It was insane. And I'm pretty sure they won that game. I can't remember, but they were still winning. They were doing great. Hughes made Faber just elevate because everyone knew Faber had more to his game. Everyone knew that. He's still extremely young, so there's still a lot more. But Hughes brought that out, and those two just we've talked about this a little bit, but Faber needs to play more of his own game. He's starting to go Hughes's way a little bit, but they match so well together when he plays his game. So that's the one downfall. But otherwise, they've been phenomenal. So fast forward, they keep winning. And they clinched the earliest it's been in a while, because I think last season, I believe it was close to the last game of the season they found out they were in.
Yeah.
And the season before that, they didn't make it because that was Fleury's first year here, and that was Fleury's first year missing the postseason. Yeah. So I will always remember that one. But so yeah, then they got to the playoffs, and I mean, I skipped the trade deadline. Sorry. They got beefy at the trade deadline. Like, this team is not, probably since the Bugard days, they haven't been known as an extremely physical team. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. That wasn't their game. But they learned playing Dallas in the past and playing Vegas. They need more. They need size. They need big muscles. So they bring in McCarron.
Yeah.
And I will be honest, when I saw that move, I was not thrilled, because in the past, I won't name names, but it hasn't worked out. And those players have not done well for us. And McCarron scores in his first game, I believe, and he literally was wrapped over top of the Vegas guy and scored it. And I'm just looking at this like, how is this possible? And then I went to the practice and I saw him skating, and I couldn't take my eyes off the guy. He's like 6'7". I know he's 6'6", I believe, off of skates. So that's like 6'8", 6'9" on skates. Just a massive human being.
He's a big guy.
And he can move. Like, he can skate. He can move the puck. He is phenomenal, and he's young. As you can tell, I have become a big fan of his. And I'm really hoping the Wild can pull out re-signing him, keeping him, because he is going to, if he can keep it up, he's going to be a valuable player. And so I was very happy about that. They did just get a new guy, Viking. I'm sure everyone in the Wild organization or fan base knows it, because just off of his name. Viking Gustafsson Nyberg. Just an absolutely amazing name. And I will say, for those Wild fans who are also Minnesota Viking fans, someone in the comments made, maybe this will be the first Viking to get a championship. And I couldn't help but laugh. And I'm like, that is so cruel, but it's funny. He's actually playing tonight. He is another big kid, like 6'6", 225. Unfortunately, not eligible for the playoffs because they didn't originally draft him, I believe is the rule. It was a rule I couldn't remember off the top, but I know he's not eligible. So they're burning a year this year, and he's going to play next year is the plan. Yeah. So they're getting bigger and more skilled. So they're going in the right direction. So so they clinched, and now we play Dallas again. And there are some feelings about that.
It's going to be a great series. And I mean, let's dive into it now and actually talk about the series. I mean, a lot of storylines you could point to. I mean, we probably won't get to them all, but you're looking at, we talked about just before recording how even these teams are. When you're looking at their stats, the season series was even 2-2. I mean, I guess technically there was an overtime game in there, but whatever. It was 2 wins, 2 losses for each team. Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at that's even. The power play 2-3 are the power play. Both teams have ridiculous power plays. Both teams are about middle ground in the penalty kill. So, I mean, this series could end up being a battle of special teams. When you're looking at goal scoring, they're pretty top heavy on both, with 2 40-goal scorers in each team. But there's some balanced scoring there too. So, Mark, what storylines are you looking at heading into this series? I mean, there's a lot that you could say. Pick maybe one or two.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it starts with the special teams for me. I think for Dallas, typically their penalty kill is their strong suit. For the last few seasons, they've been top 5 penalty kill, top 3 in the last couple seasons, and then before that, top 5. This year, their penalty kill has dropped to 12th, I believe, in the league. Yes, 12th, where the Wild's penalty kill is 15th. The power play, however, now the new head coach for Dallas did run the power play for the Oilers, which is the best power play ever over the course of a 7-season span, I believe, 8 seasons. So that makes sense that the power play all of a sudden has been second in the league all year long. For the Wild, their power play is third. So it's literally right there, neck and neck, both power play and on the penalty kill. And we all know in the playoffs, penalties are called way less. And so who can take advantage of those special team moments is going to be super key. The other thing for me, and it's kind of the same-ish, is Dallas shooting percentage. Like you said, 2 40-goal scorers. They are 9th in the league in goals for. The Wild are 11th. So once again, goals for right there. The Dallas Stars are 31st in shots per game. They just don't shoot a lot. Shooting percentage, they are first. So whatever chances they do get, they score. Shots against for the Wild, they are 9th in the league. So that's going to be super curious. The Stars already don't shoot a lot, and the Wild don't give up too many shots. So how opportunistic can the Dallas Stars be? Those two things for me, at least on the Dallas side, will be something to watch for.
That's a good point. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. If, I mean, shooting percentage, obviously it's not sustainable. I mean, that high of a shooting percentage. And the playoffs are, of course, a condensed season. So yeah, that could be an interesting one to follow. Mariah, what about you for storylines going into this one? I mean, like I said, there's so many things you could look at. And I mean, it'll extend to the players to watch later on, but what are you looking at?
Oh, Matt, I think you'll know my first one, because the last time the Wild played Dallas, I raged about it for a long time and still do. Their penalty kill has to be, and they need to stay out of the penalty box. Yeah. And there are 2 players I am going to name because they were the call. Well, okay, one of them more than the other. Marcus Foligno. However, he's learned his lesson and he's been a lot better. So but I will pick on him. He cannot let Dallas get into his head, because that is what happened the last time they played. He got out of control. That was a major reason they lost that series, not only on his shoulders, because your penalty kill has to step up and when you get called for penalties, but when it's back to back to back to back to back, something's going to give. And you have to just zip the lip and sit down. and he, again, like I said, over the last couple seasons, he has made great strides. He has matured a lot. He is way better at that. I don't know that he took a ton of penalties this season. He always usually does, because he's the more physical guy, but I think it's been better. I would say Ryan Hartman as well, because as you've all known, Ryan Hartman tends to be a hothead as well. It's good for his game when he can toe the line. He has done that extremely well this season, I will say. He has been very well behaved. I would like a little bit more edge from him, just a little bit. But overall, he's been a lot better. So as long as they can stay out of the penalty box as much as they can, I think they'll be okay. Their PK obviously has done okay this year. Against Dallas, it's been – I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't. It's that scares me no matter what situation they're in. Their penalty kill could have been number one all year long. But you play Dallas in the playoffs, it scares me.
Yeah.
The second thing is going to be the goaltending.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I love Gustafsson. I love Wallstedt. I have 100% confidence in them. The fan base, not quite as much, especially the last month or so. Gus has appeared a little bit shaky. Wallstedt struggled because he went from playing every other game, I think, to all of a sudden sitting when Gus was doing it. Was kind of back and forth. So I think that's kind of played a factor in both of their games. Gus, again, has looked a little bit shaky. To me, I think he's fine, because it's like, well, most of these games haven't mattered anyway. Yes, you should be playing and keeping yourself in good game-ready shape. But like we said before, this game literally doesn't matter. So he's not going to overextend himself. He's not going to do too much. I have 100% confidence in Gustafsson. I will say it. I know people are going to hate on me for it, because I've seen a ton of it, but I am going Gus. The third thing is I'm going to have 3, and I'm sure I'll say it more later too. They have to have production from Kirill. I'm not worried about Boldy. Kirill, Ek,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of the third player I had in my head. Somebody else on the top line. Zuccarello is fine, but they have to. Kirill, Ecker, Eriksson Ek's been kind of quiet this season. He does face a lot of injuries. He just took a puck to the face 3 games ago. So that's part of the reason he's sitting tonight, and he sat the last game because he literally he smashed his face. I think it might have been the Dallas game it actually happened in. He smashed his face. Not a big surprise. He tried to play in the playoffs with a broken leg. So
yeah.
But it would be nice to see a little bit more production out of him if they can, because he is kind of he's a pest. Everybody hates to play him. He's got the most punchable face in the league, as everybody says, because he annoys the crap out of every other team, and I love it. And they're going to need him big time against Dallas because Oettinger is a heck of a good goalie.
Yeah, I mean, the goaltending is going to be interesting. See how much Wallstedt does play. He's had a great season. And I mean, Gustafsson is obviously probably going to be the starter to start the series, and we'll see if they, use Wallstedt at any point. And Oettinger is definitely the guy for the Stars. I don't think if DeSmith is in there, I think there's a problem. But
let's hope so.
He's a good goalie. He's a good backup. But if he's in the playoffs, I think there's something wrong. But yeah, it should be an interesting goaltending matchup as well. All right, players to watch. I mentioned a few guys. I mean, we obviously know about all the stars, the big guys that are going to be scoring the goals. So these are the guys you're probably going to be pointing to that might make a difference in the playoffs. The guys that, sometimes the stars aren't the reason you get far. It's those depth guys. So, Mark, who are you looking at for the Stars?
Well, I do have some depth players that you mentioned. I will say Wyatt Johnston just for this reason. Obviously, the guy scored 45 goals, had a terrific season. Every season, this guy keeps getting better. He's scored 30 plus goals in every year of his career, which is phenomenal. However, I think this season is different in the sense that out of his 45 goals, 26 of them have been on the power play.
Yeah.
And as we just talked about, power play opportunity is much less. Now, what's the quick math on that? 19 goals, 5 on 5. That's a good season. I'm curious to see what can he do 5 on 5. 84 points overall, or 85 points overall, 26 goals and 15 assists on the power play. So I'm curious to watch him. Now, other than that, Matt Duchene, I believe this segment we talked about him last season.
We did,
with Matt Duchene. He had a phenomenal season last year. This season, he was hurt for the first majority. He's had hot, cold stretches. He's going to be on that second line. What can he produce? That's going to be curious to watch as well. I have the depth chart here. I'm curious to see, obviously, Rantanen, Johnston, Robertson, Duchene, Maverick Bourque, really high potential. Just scored his first hat trick tonight, actually, against the Maple Leafs. It's going to be guys like that, man. Like, everybody knows, like you said, about the Rantanens. Rantanen is a type of player, as we saw last season in the first round. He's going to take over a game whether you want him to or not, right? Like, the Wild can't really control what Rantanen does. It's the pieces around him that they're going to have to control. The trade deadline acquisition of Michael Bunting, offensively, he's not going to be someone that's going to light the lamp, right? However, with what you talked about, it's the physicality. This series is going to be ugly. It's going to be, if last week, Mariah, was any pointing to what is going to happen with this series, it's going to be feisty. That's why Michael Bunting's here. So it's not even like, we all know who has to score the goals. We all know who has to collect the points. It's behind the scenes who can stand out besides that. Last season when we did this, Matt, the X factors and the players to watch were the exact same segment for me. So I'm going to keep a couple players back and I'll talk a little bit more to it in the next segment, or not next one, but later in the show.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Mariah, what about you? I mean, again, we're obviously going to be watching Kirill Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber. I mean, the thing is about Hughes, though, and I will just say this, he was not good the last time he was in the playoffs. He got pushed around a lot, and I'm sure the Dallas Stars are going to look at that and say we can shut down Quinn Hughes if we're just physical on him. And, I mean, that's what happened last time the Canucks were in the playoffs. Don't to scare anyone, just saying. That's how it was. But who are you looking at?
Well, obviously, Kirill. He's had up and down playoffs because of injury problems. I believe there was one he entered the playoffs basically right off of an injury. I believe last year he had 10 games, so he had a little bit more of a runway. This year he's been, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to jinx it. He's going to be into the playoffs, hopefully just fine. Him and Boldy, I have to say this, Wild franchise, first time in their franchise history they've ever had 2 40-goal scorers in the same year. It feels really nice to actually have that for once. I mean, Kirill, we were so bummed, or I'm so bummed because I thought the numbers were a little higher, but I was hoping both of them would hit 50. Kirill's at 45, so I mean, if he plays tomorrow and gets 5 goals, you never know. He would be the one to do it. Boldy has to get 8, so I highly doubt that, and that's kind of a bummer because there were a lot of people counting on him hitting 50 this year, and really it was a countdown, and I'll explain that more later in the show. I don't want to get into it too much right now, but I mean, those two are obviously going to be, the Wild have a lot of guys that are going to be watched. I mean, basically their entire team is going to be under the microscope but the ones that I would watch Quinn Hughes. I mean, he's seeing what he can do. Like, Matt, we've talked about this. The guy is just ridiculously good. And there was another thing that just happened recently. I can't somebody was saying they should look at his skate blades, I think it was on Twitter, I saw it, or X, whatever you want to call it. He fell down. Well, he falls down a lot. And we found out that the trainers asked him if they were sharpening his skates incorrectly, and he said, no, I turned so sharply. My toques, for those that don't know, the white part that holds the blade, when he turns, that touches the ice, and that's plastic, so you tend to lose your balance and go down. Like, he turns that sharp, the blade is gone. Yeah. So he told the trainers, he's like, no, that's just how I skate. I fall down. Well, someone was picking on the trainers saying, well, maybe they need to sharpen his skates better. And I'm like, have you watched a Wild game at all this season? That's just how he skates. He falls down a lot. Like, you would think he is a brand new skater for how much he falls down. But he is really fun to watch. You did warn me he is a little bit of a puck hog, but I am actually okay with it. The only part that bothers me a little bit is and I still love the guy. He's amazing to watch. When he swipes it off his own teammate's stick, it's interesting. And I'm just like, the first time I saw it, I kind of sat back and I'm like I had to watch it again. I'm like, that really just happened. I've never seen an NHL game where that's happened before. But his teammates didn't seem to care. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So he'll be one to watch. I'm going to say McCarron because, like I said, the guy is just a mammoth of a human being because he has a foot on me. So that's like, and most of these hockey players are taller than me. I am not tall. But, you have to physically look up to look at him. Yeah. And the fact that he can skate, he can move, he's physical. He's not afraid to go to the front of the net and be there. that's going to be good against that because the Wild have to get to the front of the net. Like, they just have to. They can't continue to shoot. Like, they get their shots blocked so many times from the point. I'm a huge proponent, I know, of taking shots from the point, but they have to have someone in front to direct it, and that's something Eriksson Ek does well. As far as another player to watch, let's see. If he's in, because it's kind of up and down right now, I'm going to say Yurov. I don't know if they're playing with Nick Foligno over him, Yurov in, Bobby Brink in. It's kind of a toss-up on that bottom six. And, I mean, realistically, they can change it each game if they want. So, I mean, I could see Yurov starting, especially since he actually scored a goal tonight, even though they're losing 5-3 at the moment. He was doing so good he's had a really good season. It's just nobody, I think, is noticing him because he's in the back half. He's in the side you don't notice as much. He's doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He's more of a defensive-minded player. He's probably not going to put up 50 goals in a season, but he's that player you need. He'll block shots. He'll move the puck. He'll score goals when people are paying too much attention to the other guys. So he's a good move, and he's not huge, but he can move and he can hit, and he's not afraid to get into that area. So,
I mean, that's the guy. I mean, those types of guys, though, thrive in the playoffs. Though these are the guys that make a difference. You can see back in the Tampa Bay Lightning when they're winning cups. Third line was their best line because they had so many guys that were like that. So I mean, we'll see. These are the guys that make a difference in series for sure. All right. Well, Mark, you mentioned X factors. These could be players. This could also be a situation as well. But from what you alluded to, it's probably going to be players. So who are you looking at as an X factor?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about situation. We already talked about it. Special teams. I already highlighted how important that's going to be, as it always is this time of year. Justin Ritzkovian. His name it blows my brain when I'm writing about this guy. It's not spelled at all like Ritzkovian. So look it up. It's wild. But he has quickly become one of my favorite players on this team. His points, like totals, it's not gonna necessarily blow you away. Sorry, where are we at here? 13 goals, 28 points. It's not jumping off the page. This is what Golitzin was talking about when we're talking about 1% more physical. This guy is gritty. He is passionate, winning battles, all this cliche puck battles and in the corners and all this stuff. You're talking about in front of the net. This guy just plays mean. He plays angry. He plays with this passion. And this is just something that in the playoffs, the Dallas Stars have not had. The Dallas Stars won the first 2 rounds last season because they have really good players. Yeah. And Colorado has their own playoff demons against the Dallas Stars. The Winnipeg Jets have their own playoff demons, which we know about very, very well over the last few years. But when it comes to the conference final, the Dallas Stars just don't have that thing that can get them past the hump over to the Cup final. And this is the type of stuff that we're talking about. It's this, okay, you can score goals. Okay, you can make saves. But when the passion is needed the most, who is going to rise up? And this kid just has it all. So for me, that third line with Ritzkovian, and Jamie Benn, there's different players moving up and down, but those two guys, and it's so funny because Ritzkovian is a rookie. He played a little bit last year, but is technically a rookie. And Jamie Benn is the opposite of a rookie, the most opposite of a rookie. And these two have the same soul. Like, they can score goals. Their goals are dirty. They're not pretty. They're tip-ins, they're in the crease. They're not beautiful, top shelf, but it's these two guys just play with that grit that this team just hasn't had. And I think that playing with him has kind of brought that out of Jamie Benn again. The whole joke last season was you can tell he's kind of getting old because he doesn't really want to get rough, doesn't really want to get in, people's face. And that's not the case this season. You saw it again last week. We keep referring to that 5-4 game last week, Mariah.
Yeah.
Jamie Benn was right there front and center. And I think that Ritzkovian has kind of brought that out of him a little bit. So for me, if we're talking about players, there are others. Ritzkovian, what he's done in the regular season, can that translate to the playoffs? I think so, and it's going to have to.
Yeah, that's definitely could be a X factor. I mean, Jamie Benn, we all know what he can do in the playoffs. He's shown it a lot in the past. Ritzkovian could be an interesting. I did not know that's how you said his name. Honestly,
it's insane. Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts.
His name starts with an H, right?
Yeah, that's what
I looked it up and I just like, what?
Yeah. It's like HRYCKW. It's not even close to how you say it. And he's Canadian, which is hilarious too.
That is amazing.
I don't even know.
That is amazing.
He'll be one to watch for sure.
Yeah,
Mariah, what about you for X factors in the series?
So I was gonna say one thing, but I'm gonna hold that for the next section. But I just saw his face up on the screen, so he gave me an idea. Yakov Trenyan as a player.
Yeah.
He is one Wild Writers, especially one of my friends. Again, I'm going to mention her later because I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. But I believe it was last season. I feel like all my seasons have just blended together now since being credentialed. Like it's just like it's all just one season. But I think it was last season. He struggled. A lot of people wanted him gone. He was slow as an NHL player can be, because slow is still faster than I would ever dream of skating, and just wasn't doing what they hoped he would do this season. Like he came into the offseason, he worked his butt off, he lost weight, he's in great shape, he took it seriously, and he said that about himself. He's like, I took my stuff more seriously. I'm more mentally right, like everything. He took it. He's like, I know what people want out of me and expect out of me, and I want to stay here and earn this. So he's been phenomenal. I still cannot believe these numbers sometimes when I'm actually like reading them or hearing them. He has the most hits in the NHL this year. I believe it's the NHL, right? Or is it? I know it's the Wild for sure, but I thought it was the NHL because I'm pretty sure he's like 80 hits ahead of second place. I feel like I had a different stat up on my phone, so I wasn't able to pull it
That's
up. That's
crazy.
I feel like it's like 80 hits ahead. And to be honest, the Wild used to have Foligno, Marcus Foligno used to be up there, but now
he's got 407.
I didn't believe that number when they were saying it. I'm like, wait, in 80, and it's not even the end of the season yet at this point. I'm just like, how is that physically possible? And you're still he had 12 hits in a game last week. I'm pretty sure it was. It's just
Kiefer Sherwood's got 328 and Trent 407. Yeah,
they're like, it's like 80 hits, and I'm like, okay. And I know he set the franchise record because the Wild, for those old Wild fans, Marcus Foligno, obviously, Cal Clutterbuck for those who remember, because he was like a wrecking ball on skates. Like he just hit anything that moved. And honestly, Trenyan, I see him hit, but it just baffles me that it's that many, because it doesn't seem like he's doing it that much. Like you just don't notice it. And so I think he's going to be a bit, especially with how physical we expected. Like again, for probably the 100th time last week, that game was intense. It was physical. They were angry. They do not like each other. That you cannot tell me they're going to forget that, while everyone's like, oh, that game didn't really matter. It was home ice, blah, blah, blah. They change in the postseason, which is true. They find another level in the postseason, but you can't tell me they're not going to remember the emotions of that game and take that into this game, because these two have a rivalry that has been born since probably the year I was born, when the North Stars left and became Dallas. There's still I know there's most fans probably now kind of like, whatever, but there are still some that remember that, and there are some that are going to hate that. So there's a built-in rivalry underneath the regular rivalry that's there, and it's just, I know for most of the players it doesn't matter for that part because they weren't born yet, but but the fans bring that in, and the players feed off their crowds, so it's gonna be so Trenyan, obviously. My other one was for next, but I was gonna say I did think of one other one. The time on ice. These two teams are going to wear each other out to the point I'm worried for the second round. They need to have like a whole week off just to be ready. Like, okay, like Dallas and Minnesota just need that. Like, okay, you made these two teams play. Like, you're making this happen. Give them the time to recoup, because I don't want to see that team just get obliterated because they were super exhausted. And Faber and Hughes are the top. I think it's Hughes. Well, Faber for sure. Hughes is a little lower. Faber is a machine on ice. Like, that dude can play. I guarantee he could probably play 40 minutes a game and be fine. Like, he can go. He doesn't look tired. He just, okay, let me back out there. And in this series, it's going to be so, like, that makes me excited and makes me worried, because you know he can handle it, but at the same time, it's, should you be handling that? Like, they're going to, and like Kirill, I don't worry too much about, because he's really good about changing his shit. Like, he goes hardcore for 30, 45 seconds and he's off. He doesn't stay out like Mr. Quinn Hughes again, who decides when he comes off the ice and not when the coaches decide to tell him. And to be fair, it's worked. I can't argue the fact that it has worked. But, I mean, he's going to have to be careful with that, because, again, he doesn't need to wear out game 2 of the series. Like you said, they're going to be watching him. I'm not super worried about the fact that he's smaller and gets pushed around, because I think he's nothing against Vancouver. Again, nothing against the Canucks when I say this. He seems to have a renewed energy being with Minnesota, and he's got the guys around him that will not let him get picked on.
Well,
like, they're not gonna.
Well, there's the one comment he made that he feels like he's playing the same amount of minutes, but he feels like he's not playing the same because he's not having to pull as much of his weight, having to control a lot of the play, as he felt like he had to carry the offense. And I don't disagree. He did have to in Vancouver. So, it feels like the same amount of minutes he's playing doesn't feel like the same amount, if that makes sense.
He can play a little bit more. This actually comes from a Frost player. She said this the other day about herself, but I'm going to use her quote: playing more freely. Like, you're not as restricted. They can play within whatever, but there's structure and things where he can he doesn't have to worry as much about that. Mm-hmm. His teammates know where he's going to be. They all understand and they see, so he can kind of just, hey, you want to take the reins, go. Like, you can go. But it's not that you have to either, because there are other players that can pick it up and go if you can't.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So, I mean, he was hurt a lot of the time in the playoffs there too. So that might, of course, played a factor in it as well. All right. These are quick fire questions for the last bunch here. Keys to victory. Alluded to a lot of things throughout the preview here, but what's the biggest key to victory for the Dallas Stars to get out of this series?
When you get the lead, hold on to the lead, specifically in the third period, and close out periods themselves. Never mind the game, but the periods themselves. That seems very simple. The Dallas Stars have made a really frustrating habit this season of building 2-3 goal leads in the third period for it to be completely blown away, and they end up winning, but that's just fire you don't want to play with.
Yeah.
Specifically, once again, to refer back to last week, the Minnesota Wild scored twice in the final minute of a period. And I think it was even the final 20 seconds or 30 seconds of both the first period and the second period. That's something in the playoffs you just can't mess with. Yeah. And it happened all season long, specifically like building big leads. I think it was during the 15-game point streak, which made it hilarious, where they, like 4 games straight, they had 2 3-goal leads, 2 or 3-goal leads, and they blew them all. And they found a way to win. But that cannot happen during the playoffs. Really quickly, Matt, storylines, and this is also key to victory. I forgot to bring this up. They have been really hurt over the last little bit. So how healthy are they going into the postseason? I meant to bring that up earlier, but that is a key to victory. They are going to get their guys back, but how healthy are they really heading into this series?
For sure. Rantanen's been dealing with injuries throughout the season. That's why he doesn't have as many
Hintz, Heiskanen, all their big guys.
Lots of guys. So we'll see how good. That could be a good thing, I guess, too, with coming back, not having played a lot.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mariah, what about you? Right?
Yeah. Well, the rust for sure. What about you for keys to victory for Minnesota?
I was gonna say, are you sure you're not talking about the Wild? Because they do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game, both teams did the exact same. It's like neither one of them wanted to win. They were just like, let's just keep playing. Oh, the Wild have done that numerous times this season. Oof, duh. Yeah. But mine is actually faceoffs because they have to win faceoffs. It has been the Achilles heel, I guess you would say, probably since 2000. Since they had Mikko Koivu. That's how long it's been. Nothing against the centers they've had. They have had some phenomenal centers. They have some phenomenal centers on their team currently. But they struggle to win faceoffs. And you have to win I'll be honest, until it started becoming more of a factor, I was like a faceoff win is good, but it didn't seem that huge at first until you pay a lot closer attention. Yeah, it's a big deal. They have to win those faceoffs, especially, again, on special teams, because, I'm going to keep going back to it. But that Dallas series that they lost those faceoffs on the PK, and Dallas scored within, 5 seconds when they got the puck. It was literally one back to the point, shoot, score. Yeah. And I heard that Dallas goal song way too many times, and I cannot stand it. If I was a Stars fan, I'd probably love the heck out of that song. But the other night, I was like, "Oh God, I have to hear that song again." That's how I feel about that. So that's my main key to victory. I mean, just win the face-off because everything else is obvious. You gotta score, you gotta hold leads, But the Wild, it's really the face-offs are key, and that's why you might see a few lineup changes because they have guys that they want in there that could potentially win. I mean, they did it this season during the regular season with Nico Sturm. He's probably not, as much as I like him, he's not going to be in the postseason lineup more than likely, barring any injuries, because I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it. But he came in for a faceoff and he was right back off after he won it because he's not their guy that they need out there to score. They just need the faceoff one. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to do too much of that in the postseason because they obviously need the guy to be playing. But that could be why there's Yurov, Brink, Nick Foligno, Nico Sturm. They're going to mix and match these guys to see who can actually come out and win those faceoffs because they need that. Like, they have to have that.
Puck possession. I mean, that's the biggest thing. When you have so many good players that you need the puck. I have so many good players and defensemen. I mean, it's simple, but it is a big, big part of the game for sure, faceoffs. All right, this is a really quick one. Who's going to be the series MVP? Now you can pick. I mean, obviously, probably going to pick from the team that you think is going to win this series. But so you might be alluding to who you're thinking. Mark, who's going to be your series MVP in this one?
Well, I think whoever it is, it's the goaltender on the winning team. And so, as a Stars writer, I'll just say Jake Ottinger. But I do think if the Wild win this series, it's going to be, I mean, are we sure it's going to be Gustafsson? I feel like it could be anybody. But it's going to be Gustafsson or it's going to be Ottinger. I just think that this whole team is so even when it, as we talked about, when it comes to the, Robertson and Johnston are tied in, I think, for 5th in goals scored. Kaprizov is 4th and Boldy is 8th. We talked about the power play percentage being basically the same. The penalty kill, everything is so even that I really do think it's going to come down to the goaltending. And so I will say, Jake, he, as good as this team was in the first 2 rounds last season, people forget because of what happened in the conference final. Jake Ottinger was incredible for those first 2 rounds. And what we've seen in the playoffs, his career, he's 32-4-30, 912 save percentage, 2.56 goals against. In 2023-24, in 19 games, 913 save percentage, 2.24 goals against. Last season, because of that conference final against the Oilers, 2.82 goals against, which is still really good, but high from the previous year, and 9.905 save percentage, again because of that series against the Oilers. He is going to have to be, like we all know, like we said, Robertson scores a bunch of goals in the playoffs. He was hurt last season, but still tends to kind of slow down. 4 goals in 11 games last season. The year before, 6 goals in 19 games, 7 goals in 19 games the year before that. Johnston, same kind of thing. It's going to have to be Jake Ottinger. The margins are just way too thin for these two teams. It's going to have to be the goalie.
Yeah, goaltending is going to have to be big in this series for sure. Mariah, who's your series MVP in this one?
Well, obviously, I would go with the goalie, and I'm going to say Gustafsson because you have to. I'm going to say this really quick. You have to start Gustafsson game 1. He's earned it. He's been phenomenal. I'm not saying he's going to, I know everyone's saying he's struggling. He's earned the net. And every time somebody asks me, I'm going to say, it's like, no offense to Jesper Wallstedt, or Jesper, I'm sorry, Jesper Wallstedt. I try to say his name as correctly as I can. He's never been in a playoff series. And you're going to put him in game 1 against the Dallas Stars?
Yeah.
No. Not saying he couldn't do it. I just don't think right now is the time. If Gustafsson falls apart, by all means, put Wally in. But Gustafsson has earned that slot. He's been phenomenal. He's been that rock you've needed to get you this far. Yes, he's struggled off and on. Every goalie in the National Hockey League does. None of them are perfect. It happens. He finds another level in the postseason. Michael Russo has pointed this out numerous times. Against Vegas, against Dallas, the previous time, it wasn't Gustafsson's fault they lost. There were other main things that happened and that led to that. So I'm 100% behind Gustafsson. You can hate me if you want it. I don't care. I was going to say my MVP, say the Wild win, and obviously I'm hoping for that, Quinn Hughes, because that guy has been something else for the Wild. He's literally given that team a belief they never had before. He can do it all. He's again, at first I was so shell-shocked we got him. I didn't know how good he was. I knew he was good. Don't get me wrong. I don't live under a rock. I knew he was good. But to be fair, he played in Vancouver. I watched 2-3 Vancouver games a year when the Wild would play, because when you're watching mainly the Wild or whoever your team is. So, and again, like you pointed out, he was hurt quite a bit. So didn't see a lot of them. I've seen Jack, Luke. Obviously, the talent is there in that family. I don't know their parents. Everybody is talented in that family. Yeah. But I have to go with Quinn because he truly has given this team something they didn't have before.
You know what my opinion of Quinn Hughes is. I've watched him since he was drafted, since his first game in the NHL. When he made the move. I mean, Canucks fans know. He is a great defenseman. I mean, a lot of Canucks fans are soured on him a little bit from what some of his comments since, but I still think he's a great defenseman and probably one of the top top 5 defensemen in the NHL. So I mean, top 2, Makar and him are like right there. So yeah, it's gonna be to see how he does in the playoffs, because I say he hasn't been the best in his career so far here. Could also be the team that he's been with. I mean, even in the playoffs, when they were in the playoffs, he still had to carry the offense. He still had to carry everything. So I mean, he doesn't have to do as much heavy lifting in Minnesota, because he's got so many other great players around him that he doesn't have to do as much. I guess he doesn't feel he has to do as much. All right, let's finish this preview with our predictions. And so who's going to win? How many games? Mark, what do you got?
Really quickly here about Quinn Hughes, just to give my quick 2 cents. If he wasn't on this team, I would pick the Stars in like 5, maybe 6. I feel that confident. Hughes is that type, and that's just my opinion. I know, Mariah, you're going to disagree. I just think Quinn Hughes, as good as Kaprizov is, as good as those guys are, and they are, Quinn Hughes is the one guy, like the 4 or 5 guys in like the whole league, that when he has the puck behind his own net, you're scared. Like, you don't know what this guy's about to do. And he changes the game in ways that so many players just don't. All that being said, my prediction is that no team loses on home ice. I think it's going to be 2 in Dallas, 2 in Minnesota, back and forth. I think Dallas wins in 7 games. We talked about it this whole show, how even these 2 teams are. That comes down to their records. Dallas home 26-11-4, Minnesota 22-10-8, away Dallas 22-9-8, away 23-13-4. Like, literally, it can't get more down the middle than that. I am picking Dallas in 7 games. I think each team takes advantage of their home barn, and it will go Dallas 7 games. But this is going to be just like last season, in my opinion. Dallas and Colorado was the best round of the first round. I think this is going to be the best round of the first round.
I'll do my prediction after. Mariah, what do you got for this one?
So I'm going to say my prediction, and then if you don't mind, I'm going to say something a little more personal that I feel has to be said, and I'll try not to cry through it. But I originally was going to go like 6 games Minnesota, but God, I want to see 7.
Oh yeah,
and I'm picking Minnesota because I feel like this series, it's going to be so back and forth. It's going to be such a blast. And it also really hurts because for those, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but a good friend or a Wild reporter, NHL.com reporter, a really good friend, she became a really good friend of mine, Jessie Pierce, and her 3 kids and their dog were victims of a house fire. And it was actually the day the Wild played Dallas and won 2-1 in OT. And that game was so hard because she lived for this. Like, this was her thing. She was an amazing mom. I'll try not to make this too long. Everybody who's read things about her, it's 100% true. She was an amazing mom, an amazing worker. Just when I first walked into that press box, I was terrified. I loved it. But I went up and talked to her, and she immediately became a friend to me and has just been amazing. And she loved playing Dallas. She loved when the intensity. She lived for this. And I'm hoping the team can pull it out just because she would have loved it. It would have meant. And I joked to one of my friends that if the Wild are able to manage this and get all the way and win the cup, that she would be thrilled and also ticked off because they couldn't do it when she was here, because she lived and breathed for this team. Her kids came with her. It's just, it means a little more than hockey to me for this one. Obviously, if they don't make it, it's hockey, but it really makes you realize how much more there is. And that's
well said.
Yeah, well said. It was tough. I mean, yeah, so we'll see what happens in this series. It should be a good one, though. I mean, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be physical. It's going to be everything that playoff hockey can be, down to the emotion of it all. And yeah, it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen in this series. The first one that was confirmed, I would say probably 2 weeks ago. We already did this.
I mean, realistically, Wild fans were
Maybe
talking
even
about
more.
this matchup since like day one.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, it's gonna be Dallas, and then the games go, and everyone's like, it's Dallas. There's no Avalanche. It's Dallas.
Yeah, back in March, there was like 5 minutes where the Stars were 2 points back of the Avalanche, and then 10 minutes later, the Avalanche were 7 points up again, and it was like, oh, okay, that was fun.
I feel like that.
What about you, Maddie? Who do you think is going to win this series?
Oh yes, I was going to say. Yeah, 7. I'm going 7, and I always predict 7 games, even though it's a 7-game series. And it's gonna be so tight. I don't even know who's gonna win this. I'm going to give the edge because of Quinn Hughes. The factor of I think he does make the difference in this series.
I was like, Matt, you have to go Quinn Hughes. Come on.
I gotta. He's been one of my favorite players since he was drafted, and as much as fans don't seem to like him as much anymore in Vancouver, I still love him. I still love watching him play. And he's still one of the best, one of the most exciting defensemen to watch night after night.
Oh yeah.
And it's unfortunate I can't watch him night after night anymore in Vancouver because he was just so exciting to watch. And yeah, he's one of the best in the NHL. So yeah, it's and he's doing it in Minnesota even more so. I think he already has the franchise record for defensemen.
Okay, to be fair, that as much as I love the Wild's past defensemen, it wasn't very high.
It wasn't very high. I looked at it.
They've only been around for like 26 years compared to other teams,
and they haven't had any great
25.
defensemen.
Unfortunately,
high-end offensive defensemen. They've had great defensemen.
Yes,
but high-end offensive guys, not really.
This is the first bona fide superstar they have ever. As much as I love Kirill, Hughes is above Kirill in terms of this, and it hurts me to say that because Kirill, when he came here, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's still a superstar. Quinn is just a slight percentage above with what he can do.
I still think he'll hit 100 points at some point in his career. It's just a matter of time. If he was healthy this season, all season, I think he would have had 100. I just like the season he almost had the 100 before too. He'll do what Erik Karlsson did with his 100 points. So at some point. All right, this has been a long preview. It's been great talking this series. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a long series, so maybe that's just this is just an omen for how it's going to be. I see overtime in this series as well. I mean, it's going to be tight. It's going to be fun. We could see some marathon overtimes. I'm sure no one really likes that because with the way the time zones are with Central, that could go late in the night.
But yeah, I was gonna say, Matt, on like the East Coast, man, these games aren't gonna start till like 10 p.m. most nights, and
it is stupid.
That overtime is gonna be lots of coffee, lots of day naps. I've already told my wife I'm sleeping at 2 p.m. Get used to it for the next few weeks, but yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
what part of Central?
All right.
Us in Western.
That's very true. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see when this series starts. It's either going to be Saturday or Sunday, I'm assuming.
I think it's Saturday, but
probably Saturday, but we'll see. Schedules are obviously not out yet. But yeah, it should be fun. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mariah, for coming on as always, representing the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild.
Thank you.
We'll see. So it should be fun to watch. But until our next preview, we will see you next time.